Guitars are getting more of a highlight here after that Guccibo game because it's going to be Ragnar from Stingray here in game 1.
I didn't know he played a Ragnar. So I mean,
he's got a lot of legends that, like, I'm sure if we look back at it, we could find half the cast in his competitive history. That's one of those things. So he's bringing it out here, particularly against Raydish for something. And if it doesn't work, I expect we'll see something more familiar. But let's see how it plays out here as the Guitars are opening up here against Raydish's Orb.
I see no reason not to go for the Guitars too. They seem to be in a really good spot. You also are backed by the Axe, which is also still pretty. Oh wow!
Ouch!
Wait,
a rare early mishap coming out from Raydish there. Steers the Orb recovery a little too low. Can't get it back to the stage, and he's down, and Stingray takes the lead.
And solidly at that. I mean, Stingray really didn't even put that much damage. So that was just a very early stock loss right there for Raydish. When we see that graph, it's going to be relatively small, but let's see what he can do to get back into it. Raydish, you know, kind of king of momentum, though. You've seen what he can do. He got a 3 stock as his last match. And the last, oh my, king of momentum. Didn't even get hit. He didn't even get hit.
Yeah.
Like,
it just became a necessity for him. It was like, well, that stock went down so early, I have to do the 0 to death.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he does. Stingray goes down off the top, the neutral sig, and now game is dead even. Neutral light comes through, and Stingray fighting through with that axe.
Man, can Raydish, you know, keep this type of gameplay up throughout the rest of this tournament? Because, yeah, I mean, he gets one good hit, one read, and it turns into so much for him. I mean, it feels like even after you get your dodge back, he still knows what you want to do with that dodge. So it's like a 9-second read.
Yeah, and that's something that's just a rare sight to see for players that tend to specialize with Orb, Raydish being the only one that really does it. That weapon throw may have actually made Raydish able to act sooner, but he doesn't get a ground pound off of it, and he's looking for more damage, but Stingray's a axe side arrow away from getting that knockout. Neutral light not enough yet, but it's getting close.
Raydish.
Ooh, nice dodge.
Yeah, makes his way back through.
You see Stingray's looking for that stare. He wants that finisher. He's jumping around, waiting for that landing, throws it away, says guitar recovery, that's easier. It gets him off the top, and that stock was much later than the last one Raydish lost.
Oh, yeah. And so, I mean, Raydish this time around, though, is still, you know, not happy. He did kind of demolish that first stock to get back into the game. Maybe he just needs a little comeback factor to really start firing back on all cylinders, but that's not going to help you get the W because you got to get that last stock first.
Ooh, Raydish puts out a down stick a little prematurely there. Stingray recovering so high, he was able to land on top of him and punish it. Side stick goes through, Stingray is still in the air, doesn't get caught by it, and the damage is still going in his favor. One Sair comes through, but the recovery misses, so Stingray hits him with 2 nairs.
Ooh. Very surprised I didn't take. I like that idea. You know, make a lot of people try to go back to center stage. He's like, you know what? If you try to hop off this platform over here, I'm there. Didn't get punished for a lot of recoveries, a lot of uppercuts just in general between the neutral stages and the recoveries. Does finally find that stock to go ahead or that hit to go ahead and take that stock. And Stingray, unarmed, does find himself the guitar. See what he can do with him.
Yeah, Nair comes through. He's been getting a few of those. Raydish could, the recovery misses, steers it too high. Stingray goes for that down air. Neutral light punished by that side light, neutral light, and then Nair recovery might be enough, and it just is. Stingray taking Raydish off the top with a really quick game 1. It's still like, because of how that stock went down, the one we just saw in that replay, that makes me hesitant to say that Stingray's got total momentum going into game number 2, but that's a great start with that win.
Yeah, I mean, it's really high-level Ragnar, all things considered. I mean, I think after you get past, like, level, like 40, it does start to take a little bit to get these levels up. And so he's at level 54. Yeah. I mean, meanwhile, on the other side, the Raydish level 100.
We got Raydish at level 100.
Yeah. But still, I mean, level 54, that's really not. I've seen some people come here with their level 14 legends, and I'm like, oh, all right, well.
It's like, we're bringing that out. That's a tournament special. It's like, don't worry, I got that leveled up on my ult account. No, we got PR3 versus PR2 here. And Raydish, you were talking about how small that graph was going to be at the very end. Well, there's the evidence, right? We've got that little blip, and then it's just a deletion. Raydish did make quick work of that stock, but then when it went to an even game, 2-2, both players at white, Stingray still came out on top, and there was no flubs from Raydish to excuse that performance there. So we're going over to Brawlhalla now, where the knockouts are just going to be faster across the board. Stingray's got that defense stat in there, but like we talked about earlier, doesn't really matter. All that gets negated. You're kind of 5 all around here on Brawlhalla.
And at this, I mean, with the way that they're playing too, I feel like these stocks can be dropping relatively quickly on both sides. So, you know, this is just a straight up scrap. And what I say, like, super quick to starting that one off. Trying to knock him down. He does end up knocking him down. Neutral Sig is going to find the hit at the perfect spot of the stage. Won't get a stage bounce, won't get nothing, just throwing you straight to that blast zone.
Yeah, I love how I've been seeing these neutral Sigs used by guitar players. Pierre's doing this as well with Lucian, where he's doing the neutral light, neutral Sig, just covering that area right in front of him after the attack hits in case his opponents are sleeping on the option of dodging away. And Stingray putting out these neutral lights. I mean, why not go for the neutral Sig again? And he does. Raydish jumps all the way around for it, though, gets the side air, but in a recovery position, Stingray tries to snipe him with those down Sigs, and it's been all Stingray here in game 2.
Yeah, Stingray's playing at a speed that just seems to be kind of unmatched by Raydish. Raydish does end up getting that drift ground pound to hit, though.
Yeah.
So I know that's got to feel good for him. But, yeah, Stingray playing at a quality speed right now that is just kind of working Raydish. For lack of a better term, Raydish trying to get back to the stage. Stingray with a denial of the down Sig, absolutely not step back. That's the second time he's just spiking him as he tries to come back to the stage.
Yeah, he gets some fresh guitars, too. Throws the axe to the side. He goes like, all right, I know how this matchup's going to be played here. I saw how much trouble you're having against this weapon, and I know how to play it. And look at him go. Down Sig could come out here pretty quickly, but no, he just waits for Raydish to go in. One Nair, a neutral light. He's just struggling to get in on Stingray.
And I think that's, you have to give it up to Stingray, too, for being able to do this. Because there's that time when you're playing.
I thought that was it.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be it too. But there's that time when you play so many characters that the character choices can actually hinder you. But he's like, no, I have so much confidence in what I'm using. I just need guitars because you're not good against those. Here I am with my guitar legend going crazy. And he's doing exactly that. Raydish getting a little two-piece, but overextends with the down air. And he is hurt, and he is out of there.
First time he lets that one rip, and it gets him right in the center of the face, to the right side of the stage, too. Stingray, yeah, you're talking about it, and that's why I tend to just make that note every time I have a Stingray set that I have to cast, where it's like, listen, okay, in North America, this is the guy that actually has 20 legends ready to go. and you might just be like, what? Ragnar? Okay.
527 damage, guitars only.
0 on
guitars only.
Oh, my God. That's a lot of reads. You have to read your opponent a lot to get this to happen. I mean, you get those small combos, those 2-hit combos, but when it comes down to it, you are punishing a dodge and then another dodge and then getting the knockout to be able to get that high of a damage number on guitars alone. And Raydish, on a switch to the Ezio off of the Petra here with his back against the wall in the elimination bracket.
And I don't know how well his sword is because I've never seen. He's gauntlets and orbs me. The thing is, he does still have an orb.
He's got that
hand.
orb, and we were talking about a lot of those games was like 450 orb damage, 50 gauntlets. If the gauntlets aren't doing it, let's bring out that sword, negate what he's being punished by with these guitars, perhaps, and bring it to a game 4 because Stingray's still running away with this so far.
He jumps into that. Stingray, though, knows exactly what he's looking for. He's getting the punish. He's just spacing him out. He's kind of doing the whole camping in your face type deal. Okay, getting scooped up on that one.
Yeah, nice neutral Sig there, trying to catch Stingray being airborne, but that neutral light, double neutral light, no dodge, you're gone. Recovery off the top for the KO, and Stingray's 2 stocks away from getting a 3-0 over Raydish.
Yeah, this is, again, not what I was expecting to see at all from that dominant gameplay that I saw earlier from Raydish, but I didn't get to see Stingray play, so, maybe if I saw him play earlier, I would have thought that this is definitely going his way, because that's what it looks like. Oh, no, not the turnaround.
Oh,
again?
Double down air.
Oh, okay,
Recovery's exchanged. That's in favor of Stingray, though. Weapon throw doesn't combo into the recovery, and Stingray's still trying to get that extra credit, and he gets a nair.
Raydish really wants the sword, too. That's, he had the option to play with the
He
orb.
is choosing it, and that's surprising to me, too. D-Light recovery, that may be one reason.
Okay.
Because he did just get off of 2 losses with the Petra, right? If the orb sidelight sider is not hitting, he's got to try some other kill confirm, because if he doesn't get that, then what is he going to do?
Man, look at that Stingray. He said, I am not afraid of you. I know you got the hit first, but I'm still coming back aggressively. Gets that down there, also turns around the situation. Almost gets the reverse neutral light right there. Would have been clean.
Oh, wait. Gravity cancel down light was so close to being the perfect option, but Stingray was right below it. Gets the punish, and now the damage is in his favor as he goes for that weapon throw outwards and picks up the axe. Well, all right, last game we saw 0 damage on it. Well, already higher than that with that side air, and he has 1 stock to take to move on in the top 4 here in the Autumn Championship.
0 damage, on the last game, probably like 10 damage, 1 stock right there, 100% efficiency on that on that pickup of the axe.
Oh, another Sarah hits. Okay, actually be coming out strong here. Downlight anti-air, and maybe that's just how Stingray's going to play it. 1 dare, could go for a ground pound, no dodge. Is Raydish done for? That's it.
Oh, that is it indeed. He went for a lot. I think he could have just came back to the stage for free, but instead went for the gravity cancel, put himself in a lot of lag, and then, Stingray just capitalized on that super quickly. Yeah, 101 damage there from the axe. Wasn't a crazy amount. I think most of that probably happened on the last stock, but really, really kind of destroyed. He forced that guy to switch off of what we know him for, the Petra.
Right.
And then we forced him to switch off of the orb at that. He didn't even pick up the orb. He was like, I'm done with that. I am only using the sword.
Yeah, and it was interesting because in the games before that, Stingray was only on those guitars, but when the sword came out, it was like the axe suddenly became an option, and Raydish wasn't ready for it. So we're going to go even more in depth with that game as we toss it over to Remy with the analysis.
Stingray bringing out the old faithful, the old classic Ragnar that we loved to see in the past, and he is mixing up with some Qatar gameplay. We've been seeing Qatars in all the regions this weekend. Guishibu playing the Lin Fei that we just saw previously, but Stingray has always and is doing it differently this time. He likes to play around that signature kit that he holds so near and dear, and this one is just a common play. He goes for the end light and then he resets it, gets it into that nair recovery, which is a good angle for him, but a lot of his KOs weren't coming out like that. They were more focused on the signature kit, and we're going to be looking at how that played out in these clips coming on here. This one is a really interesting one. He does start off with the unarmed, gets the guitars, and goes for the first end-sig. That kind of pushes Raydish in a position where it's like, okay, now I have to get over this. How am I going to do that? I'm going to play it back for you guys kind of slowly. After this end-sig comes out, Raydish has to go for that recovery. You can see it's already started up. He ends up going through it, going over it, and it puts him in a really vulnerable position where Stingray can get that side air, but it's what happens after that. He still hasn't touched the ground yet. He's used his recovery, he uses his jump. He tries to dodge back to the map, play for the wall, but Stingray puts out that down sig covering this entire area. Now it's like, where can Raydish go? He's going to lose the stock. That's where he can go. Continuing on like that, Stingray does a lot of area coverage with the signatures, building a lot of pressure, and all the good stuff you like to see when someone has guitars in hand. Yep, playing off of this one right here, it's another kind of interaction like that where you can see he puts out this down sig. Just going to put a pause on it right here, and it's like, okay, now where can Raydish go? He can either back up completely giving up the stage, or he can do what he did, which is go slowly around and try to fight back, but that Sair he put out leaves Stingray open for the punish. After that punish, it's another signature situation, especially one of the common Ragnar ones where you go for that end light, you go for that end sig after, and you catch almost every single dodge they can put out. That one gets a clean catch and sends Raydish back into the depths. Continuing on, even off the common Petra pick that he has, he can't seem to find a way through Stingray's signature usage. You can see right there, reads the normal dodge down for the double recovery, and Stingray's on fire with it. A lot of SIGs coming out, a lot of normal guitar reads that you love to see, good neutral gameplay, and all of that is key to Stingray's continuation in this set. I'm going to send it back to the casters.
All right, TK. You were talking about how you love seeing your boys Luna and Pugsy do well. Well, we're getting into this elimination bracket matchup, and the matchup we've got coming up next is Java versus Pugsy.
Yeah, I mean, Pugsy, the reason why, well, first, I mean, I know Pugsy personally, so that's my guy, but second, he plays my character, so love to see how he does, with the Jolly. It's going to have the Maggie out here, but it's going to